All right, Jacob, we're live. CrossFit 926 out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, tell me about your gym. Tell me tell me how long you've been around. And you told me you have a cool story for how you came up with the name.
Yeah. I'll try and keep that short. It's a longer story, but we're getting ready to celebrate seven
No,
years.
this is the long version.
You want the long version? You said 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Don't give
But
me a 20-minute version. Give me a 5-minute version.
all right, I'll do my best. We celebrate 7 years this year. We started with absolutely zero members. So linking that into the discovery story, I'm a civil engineer. I went to school for civil engineering. My job site was kind of relocating to a different part of our area, not state, but like different part of our area, the Charlotte area. And dude, I dropped into this gym called CrossFit Vitality. It was closer to my job site, my new apartment. And on my first day, I see this smoking hot girl. And I did not go into that gym with the intentions of seeing this girl. But I went in there and it was like, as soon as I saw her, game over, smoke show. And then later in the workout, I was bent over, of course, encouraging my partner. It was a partner workout. And she comes by and like pats me on the butt. And I was like, I've got to figure out who this girl is. So I spend all this time trying to figure out who she is. Long story short, I get her to go out on a date with me. I try and woo her and impress her, find out she's in corporate wellness and she does a lot with nutrition. And she cares a lot about food and the quality of food. So I try and plan out this like extravagant dinner date with like nice, healthy food. And she's like, can we just go to Chipotle? I was like, fine with me. So we go to Chipotle. I take her on a date. We go watch airplanes land up here at the Charlotte National Airport. And on that date, she asked me what like a life goal of mine was. And engineering is very lucrative. I was a young 20s man, and I was basically just like, I want to invest in some kid one day. I want to give them the opportunity to open a gym, kind of teach them how to run a business, and build something that's going to outlast them. Little did I know that I was speaking my future into existence. So she goes back and yaps to her best friend, which is now my best friend and business partner's wife. And I meet him, Zach Brock. He was actually in the CrossFit Games when you guys were sponsored by Panda Express and Under Armour.
Yeah.
So he's been in the game for a long time. And I meet him. The second time I meet this guy, he's like, hey, Michelle told me that you want to start an affiliate one day. And I was like, yeah, bro, like when I'm 50. He was like, I want you to quit your job and start an affiliate. I looked at him like he had 6 heads. I was like, no way, no. And I mean, because I was young 20s making a 6-figure salary. Like I was good. No.
Yeah.
So the next thing you know, the whole thing progresses and, we start praying hard about it. We're a big Christian gym. CrossFit 926 is actually 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 26 and 27. And we can dive into that in just a minute anyways. But long story short, we tried the longest trying to figure out what kind of name we wanted. We got approved as an affiliate. We just needed like location and whatnot. It took us forever to find a space that was worthy of the size of caliber gym we visioned was going to be. And long story short, I tell him like, look, dude, I don't want it to be like CrossFit Lake Norman. I don't want it to be like CrossFit location, whatever it may be, or like something that doesn't mean anything to us. So I'm reading the Bible one day and I come across Corinthians 9, 26 and 27. And I'll just say it. It's therefore I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave so that when I'm done preaching to others, I will not be disqualified for the prize. So in that scripture, Paul's talking about.
Jacob, we lost some audio. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
We lost you for a second.
For some reason, my phone is like using the audio. But whenever you see therefore in scripture, you have to see what it is there for. And I had it pulled up on my phone, but I'll pull it up right here. So it's funny because Paul talking about the church of Corinth saying, whatever I'm doing, I'm not, like whatever I'm teaching you guys to do, I'm doing myself. I'm not like teaching you something and then going off on a heresy. Like I am doing these things. And the beginning of the scripture in 26 is therefore. So whenever you see that, you need to go back a verse and see what he's actually talking about. And 25 says, you'll like this. And everyone who competes for a prize in the games, the Greek games, that's the old version. Hold on. Let's go to the NIV version. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. So in other words, Paul's comparing the strict life of a games athlete, Greek games athlete, the OG games, Dave. Yes. Greek games athlete to the life of a Christian in forms of their training. And we read that and we were like, that's CrossFit. That's the discipline required in CrossFit and to lead people into CrossFit. So how that name came about, I pitch it to him and I'm like, hey man, this is what I'm thinking. And he literally texts back, no way. And in a text message, there's 50,000 ways you could take that. No way, not happening. Or like, So then I see the little bubbles pop up on the iMessage, and he sends me a picture from when he went to regionals, RIP, in 2014. Word for word on the back of the shirts that his mom made was 1 Corinthians 9, 26 and 27. Oh, so that was number 2. That was sign number 2. Number 3, I go to my home gym in my hometown in Eden, North Carolina, CrossFit Eden. And I finished doing a workout and I lay sprawled out on the ground, laying around. And my wife, girlfriend at the time, comes up and kicks my foot and points at the wall. And I roll over and I look up at the wall, and word for word on a giant banner with CrossFit in the background is 1 Corinthians 9, 26 and 27. So I was like, that's strike 3. That's the name.
Awesome. That's a great story. And
it's a long one.
It's a long one, but a very good story and very powerful. I have a few questions from that. Do you fucking host your own podcast or something? Because you're like really good at this.
I'm charismatic, man. I enjoy talking to people.
Have you been on Sevon's yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you like him? Because some people
he's pretty good. I enjoy him. Do you know a guy named John Newby?
Sounds familiar.
He used to, didn't he work for Morning Chalk Up? He wrote for Morning Chalk Up. Yeah, he's good friends with all those like Buttery Bro guys and all that jazz. He's a member here, and he talks about Sevon a lot.
Okay, I'll link you up with Sevon so you can go on his podcast. Second question. Awesome. So when you started at Vitality, so we've done open announcements there. We go way back with them. I know them. Did you how long were you there before you decided, started thinking about opening up the gym?
So I was there for probably right around a year. And then Zach and I got so tight that he was competing. He actually went to regionals in 2018, the last year that you guys hosted regionals. And he said, like, look, man, this is like the last year that I'm going to make a run. Come train with me. If we're going to open a gym together, like it'd be fun to train together and get that like brotherhood going. And then I went and trained with him at CrossFit North Lake, which is like a sister gym to CrossFit Vitality. It was for a while. And we trained there for about 6 to 8 months as the final processes of the gym was what we're developing. And so we, all in all, it was about a year and a half from when I met Michelle at Vitality that first day to when 926 opened.
And how far are you guys from them?
Oh man, probably 15, 18 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Steve's the man, dude.
Are they still?
Oh, they're still rocking and rolling, dude. They're growing. They're an amazing gym. I mean, you've seen the new facility. When you go in there, you're like, this is state of the art.
Right? Steve Pinkerton.
Yeah. He's the man, dude. He's such a genuine guy.
Yeah. He was a Marine, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or was he a soldier or Army guy? No, I think he was a Marine.
No, don't say that to him. He was a Marine.
Tell me about COVID, and you mentioned that COVID story.
So COVID was a fun time for us. I think it was a fun. I shouldn't say that. It was a tough time for everybody. Yes. So being a civil engineer, I know thermoregulation. I know about airflow and requirements to technically meet outdoor facility standards.
Yep.
So I did a no-no, and I started running calculations on what I needed airflow-wise to meet the requirements of an outdoor facility. So I started running calculations, and I started buying fans to have enough airflow. I mean, we have a ton of bay doors in the gym. I wish I was in there so I could show you, but
how many square feet?
The gym itself is about 8,000, and then the office area that we're in right now is about 2,000.
That's really big. Okay.
It is. It's nuts. But for some reason, anyways, I set it up to where I got approved from the CDA and, other facets to not remain open, but open up shortly after we closed. But then, man, everybody being at home, they just got busy. And we've had 84 babies born in this gym since March of 2020.
That's amazing.
The crazy thing is, Dave, we do a care package for every single one of them. We do like energy drinks, gift cards, onesies with 926 on it. And dude, when we first started, I was like, oh, this is a great gift. And then 84 babies later, do the math. That's a lot of money that we've given away.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a great story. I bet you that rings true for a lot of affiliates, but they just maybe have not tracked it like you have because they're not giving gifts to every member who has a gift package.
I would love to know the statistics. I mean, this is kind of weird, so like, don't judge me off this. I would love to know the statistics of like if they're going to make another like baby boomer generation since like COVID, because I mean, both of our kids were born during that time frame, so.
What's the deal with the sword? Is that like a Conan thing?
I actually won that at a Battle of the Ages competition here in CrossFit Pineville. Okay. Me and 3 other guys. It's a cool competition. You have to have one person from every age division or every like 10 years. Yeah. And we won, and they gave us that's actually Excalibur or whatever they call Excalibur. But I have a sword up here that you would actually really enjoy. So my great-grandfather, that guy right there.
Oh, wow.
It was either my great or my great-grandfather was a trench gunner in World War I. He saw a German officer coming across the field on a white horse, and he said, watch this, boys. Pops up, puts 2 in him, drops him, and takes that off of him and brings it home.
That's such a
great. That is a German officer ceremonial rapier from World War I. And it's been in my family ever since.
Thanks for sharing that. That's such a cool story.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that, being the retired SEAL.
I didn't retire. I got out. The difference is retired. You get that title when you do 20 years. I did 12. Okay. So I would go with.
You were close, dude.
Former SEAL. I know, but there was something else in my life called CrossFit.
So you left the Navy for CrossFit.
Yeah, I was actually for 3 years. I was doing both. I was active duty in the Navy and working full time. I did not. A lot of people don't know this. I didn't get out until 2009. So get this. I'll even tell you another little cool tidbit.
That was 2 years after the first games, dude.
No shit. Yeah. So now let me tell you another point. I was actually in Afghanistan planning the 2009 games and scheduling seminars while deployed overseas. Yeah.
This guy right here. Say hey to Coach Nate. Nate, spin around here where you can see him.
Coach Nate, good to see you.
He's you were 75th Ranger bat. He's an airfield Caesar, and he was in Afghanistan a couple times, so he perked up when he was in Afghanistan.
Thank you for your service.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Couple other questions. Talk to me about. I'm going to ask this question. Well, first, just say. Do you program or do you guys follow someone else's program? And don't answer whose program you follow if you do follow someone else's program.
We've written our own programming for 7 years now. We believe that's part of what we're known for in this area is programming, community, and coaching. And we no matter what we do, all of our efforts need to point back to that. So me and this guy spend every other Wednesday, we probably spend 5 hours programming 2 weeks at a time. And we're about a month ahead. We stay about a month ahead. And we believe in so I come from a college football, Olympic weightlifting background. And I believe in percentage training. So we do a lot of barbell work. Obviously, we have our open prep. And then, going into the end of the year, trying to get some weight on the bar for higher reps. Trying to just basically plan everything around the open. So we write our own programming.
You mentioned programming, community, and coaching as the things you prioritize, basically. Here's what's wild. If you focus on those 3 things, I'll tell you this, you can't go wrong. And you know that better than anyone else because you're living it. But if you focus on your programming and your community and most importantly, your coaching, that's a recipe for success right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a blessing for us for sure. We've focused mainly on listening a lot more than we act like we know what we're doing. Hence the community aspect of this. We coach, we obviously act out of authority, but we do a lot of listening. If people are, it's kind of like when you stick an idea out there and it doesn't land the right way, it's probably not a good idea to pursue it.
Yeah.
So we take a lot of feedback with our programming, although we filter it and we make sure it's coming from the right sources, but we do take a lot of feedback and make sure that we're not, overloading one thing or the other.
How do you guys focus on your coaching? How do you prioritize that? Like, what do you do? I understand you say that you prioritize it, but like in action, what are some of the things?
Oh man. What are we not doing? So obviously a majority of our coaches are level 1 or level 2 certified.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to get me to talk me into doing my level 3. And honestly, I'm not a good test taker. So we'll see. Unless you want to throw me a level 3 cert, like I'm just kidding.
No, I'll say this. So there is discussion. It's not going to happen right away, but there is discussion of basically kind of rethinking the model to where the level 3 isn't that test. It becomes a more of another, call it course engagement or mentorship. And then the level 4 is the written test at the end.
Okay.
So it takes that concept of the written piece being kind of this roadblock and moving it to the end of the structure. We're not there yet, but it's definitely kind of in discussion.
So in a way, you're going to take the level 2 and make it a little bit more hands-on and smaller group base.
Well,
because if you notice, when you go from the level 1,
you're in the right direction with what we're thinking. So basically, level 1's large group and like you're being taught movement. Level 2 is smaller group, and now you're teaching, getting feedback. And then the level 3 basically becomes, think of like one-on-one mentorship where our trainers are guiding you through some back and forth, maybe watching some videos of you coach, giving you feedback and critiquing, but it's one-on-one. And then from that, you get your level 3, and then the level 4 becomes the actual, the written test that exists now.
I like that a lot. That's great.
I do too. It just takes some time to pull off. Yeah. I think that'd be a good expression of it.
I love it. I mean, that's how we onboard our coaches anyways. They pal up with either me or another one of the head coaches, and they have to observe for 20 hours before they can even like get on and lead a class. Because we're so distinct in how we manage our classes that I don't quite honestly, and this might make you a little upset, I don't care how many certifications you have.
No, it doesn't.
Come into our gym, you are going to coach the way that we have built the model to be. Yeah, and if you come in and you're expecting your title to hold a certain hourly wage or matter of respect, like as soon as you get in here, you start at the bottom. I don't care how long you've been coaching, and you learn to do it the way that we do it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Ultimately, if you're creating coaches that are delivering an amazing product and changing people's lives, how you get there, that's all that matters. I mean, we provide some tools and some courses and some resources clearly, but at the end of the day, just having an impact on people and making them move well and getting the results from the methodology, that's what matters the most.
You asked what we're doing, like elevator coaches and focusing on that parameter. Dingus over here and I are actually in the process of building out kind of like what you guys do for the judges courses and the levels, like the online written or the online portion of the level 2. We're basically breaking apart like every single movement we can. And this is like how the movement should be executed. And these are the common faults that we've seen over our time doing it. Because we want, like whenever I sit down and I do quarterly evaluations with a coach, I want to be able to look at that coach and be like, hey, I noticed that Nicole was doing her kipping pull-ups and more of or her butterfly pull-ups instead of a solid loop, it was more of a D, and she was kind of falling down and losing momentum. And the coach says, I don't really know how to coach butterfly pull-ups. Okay, I want to be able to take a link and put it in her evaluation profile and her to be able to go see and learn everything she can about that movement and then go forth and put that into practice. So we're actually building that platform kind of as we speak. It's a slow process because there's a lot to it, but we're basically building our own movement platform where we can assign them to the coaches and say, this is how you coach these things, or this is how you coach these movements. Amazing.
Keep me in the loop on that. Share that with me, and I'd love to just follow your journey in that and see if we can.
No pressure. No pressure.
Final question before we go. Tell me about, well, you say programming, community, and coaching. community clearly that ties to the Open. Are you guys excited about the Open? What's going on there?
Yes, we are. So this year we've done things a little bit differently. You know, the NFL draft, like how they hold up the jersey with the last names on it. We are doing that on February 15th. No one knows whose team they're on right now. And last year, one of the coaches, I'm going to plug him in this so that he knows that was a terrible decision. Coach Derek Smith chose this banana yellow shirt. And in February, nobody has a tan. So everyone looked like bananas walking around on his team. And I'm getting so many emails saying, like, please do not put me on the yellow team. And I let them know that there are no yellow shirts going out this year. But ultimately what we've done is we have just over 70 people signed up for this intramural Open. It's our in-house stuff. And they don't know what team they're on. They don't know what color jersey they have. On February 15th, we've canceled our 9 a.m. class. And all the team captains are going to get out the shirts. And one by one, we're going to announce who is on our team because their last name is printed on the back of the shirt, like a jersey.
Cool.
They're pretty dope shirts too. They're awesome.
If you do any posts around that, tag me in them because I want to see. If you do any videos on it, collaborate with me and I'll reshare it on my IG.
Absolutely. I would love to do it. I'd love to do that.
Well, Jacob, we definitely could have gone for another 40 minutes or an hour and a half, but that's not this format. This format's short. I will link you up with Sevon so you can talk for 2 or 3 hours with him.
Oh, man, I'm a talker. I don't know if he's ready for this.
This was, I really enjoyed it. This was wonderful. And stay in contact. Shoot me. You do have my email, so let me know if you ever need anything. And amazing community. It sounds like you have an amazing community there, and just keep doing what you guys are doing and changing lives because you guys
Thanks
are
for giving us this opportunity, man. This was really fun.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
All right, brother.